All right. Hello, everybody. I am Lauren Cohen, and it is toward the end of December 2020. Finally, it's actually December 20th, 2020, when I'm recording this wonderful Investing Across Borders with my new friend, Katia Reisler. Katia and I met about, I don't know, 8 or 9 months ago, around the beginning of COVID, right? When
That
we
is
were we were planning to go for coffee, and COVID hit, and we were like, okay, I guess we're not going for coffee. So we're still planning to go for coffee, or maybe we'll upgrade to lunch once we actually can start doing things together. But we immediately resonated. Katia is originally from Peru and spent many years living in my hometown of Toronto and all across various parts of Canada. And now, like me, she has migrated south because she didn't really like the winters any more than I did, I'm sure, coming from Peru especially. And she lives in Boca Raton, and just like me, services clients from all over the world and helps make a really big impact and difference in their lives. So Katia, can you just give us a little bit of background on you and what brought you to the US and what just made you decide to become a realtor?
okay. So, like you mentioned, I first of all thank you so much for having me here. Like you mentioned, I am originally from Peru. My family immigrated to Canada since we started going back and forward since I was 8 years old. So I officially moved to Canada in '88, and I am actually Canadian. So my entire family is there. So my family is
In
in
Toronto or
Toronto,
Montreal now?
and my husband's family is in Montreal.
Okay.
So we are still very well connected, and we have many friends and families and business, acquaintance in Canada. We decided to move to Florida about 10 years ago. So we have been coming to Florida for about 30 years, mainly Bal Harbor at that point.
Me too.
And, yeah, and
It's a
Palm
very
Beach
small world,
originally.
isn't it?
So we went to Palm Beach, then to Bal Harbor, and then when we decided to move to Florida, my children were going into schools, and we chose Boca Raton for numerous reasons, and that is where I'm located now. About a year or two after I moved to Florida, um, I decided that because of I guess that difficult time that I had finding a home, I didn't want anybody else to go through that. And that is the
I
truth
hear you.
behind real estate and my choice for that. I've always worked with architects and developers and builders in Canada and many different facets of design. But when I moved here, I had to actually live in a hotel for 5 months because we couldn't find a house. So basically, when we found our house, we found it in Boca, and then I decided to go into real estate, and I love it. And I
Yeah,
love helping my clients.
yeah, yeah. So how did you originally come to the US? Like, what type of visa did you apply for? How did you get into the country? Your husband being Canadian, right? And you from Peru and
My
Canadian.
husband has a dual citizenship.
Ah,
My
aha.
husband is American,
That
so
made it a
both.
lot easier.
It made it a lot easier.
Yeah, you
Correct.
didn't have to go through what I went through, because like you, what brought me to what I do is that my ex-husband was deported on the way back from our honeymoon. So that did not happen to you because your husband is Canadian. I'm sorry, is American, is dual, just
Correct.
like me. So are you also dual now?
I am missing the exam, which I was going to take prior to COVID.
Right.
So I just need to pass the exam. Everything else is completed.
Well,
And my children are dual as well
yeah,
now.
yeah. Good news for you. They just changed the exam and made it
Oh,
harder. So you're gonna have to
oh,
study.
great. I'm so excited.
When I took the exam, here's something really funny. One of the questions they asked me was, name 5 states that border Canada. I couldn't believe this. The woman started laughing, the woman that was doing the test. And I'm like, if I don't know the answer to that question, I'm in a lot of trouble and I don't deserve to become a citizen. So,
Absolutely. So
so
then
tell
I
me, is
said,
there,
great.
you speak Spanish, you speak French,
I understand it. I don't,
okay?
I can
And
read it.
obviously English. Any other languages?
No, Italian and Portuguese, I can
A little
understand it.
bit,
I can
right?
read it,
Because
but
they're Latin
I
based, the
will not
same
speak.
like, yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
So, and what is your favorite type? Is there a particular favorite type of client? Do you prefer to work with clients that are investors, clients that are buying, clients that are selling, like foreign nationals? What is your sweet spot?
So that's a tricky question. I definitely like to work with buyers. With that being said, I also love the marketing and the exposure of the properties. So I do like all that planning and the photography and everything that goes behind and creating that whole incredible package that we give to our clients.
Sure.
All that PR and marketing and everything that goes, I truly enjoy that.
I think
Um,
that when you're doing a listing, you create a little bit of a stronger relationship with the client because you're selling their home, and it's there's a level of intimacy when you're marketing their home because it's their biggest asset generally, right?
correct. Yeah,
So
and we got to think about those stories and those, come up with a creative approach to be able
right,
to market the property better.
right.
Uh, the last one that I just put in the market, my clients, I'm also in the sports and entertainment division. So my clients have that recognition globally. So
Mm,
she just relocated here from London. So we come up with a whole, different way to expose the properties,
wow.
with some of their background and their feedback. I also have always been passionate about construction. I should have been an architect. I always say that. All that construction and design I'm very passionate about. So I work currently with many builders and developers. So I tend to go into that, and we have a couple of new projects that are coming into market.
Mm,
So the ability of me being able to work with the floor plans and all that,
yeah.
opens different venues. So it's very difficult for me to just pick one because I just kind of enjoy all the facet of design as well.
Yeah, it's like in Toronto, there's like 1,000 new construction projects going
Yes.
on. I mean, they're still building high rises despite COVID, and they're selling them out. And it's just a crazy city that we I come from and you lived in for many years. So,
Yeah.
so what would be in terms of working in Florida? You mentioned working with buyers. What would be your percentage of clients that you generally work with that are from other countries coming into Florida?
High percentage. I would say a good 75.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Cool.
high percent.
So, and we've been trying to work together on cases, and I think once COVID changed, obviously is gone, God willing, the impact of that on the international market is going to be significant because people want to come and touch and feel the property still. And it's hard to do that with COVID, especially for Canadians, because they can't go back home. They're stuck. So I
So,
was supposed to be on a plane literally right now going to Toronto, and I
oh,
bailed because I just couldn't face the fact of being in minus something degrees, stuck in a house, having, not being able to walk or go anywhere in quarantine. So we bailed. Literally, I just got the notice that I'm supposed to board. So
oh no.
that's kind of funny. Um, what would you say is your like what do people know you for? Obviously the sports and entertainment, right? Which is a designation that you have. What else do they like? What brings people to you? What is your marketing strategy?
So I work very closely with the PR team and the marketing team from the company that I work with. I work with Douglas Elliman, and we come up. So my marketing is very strong. My knowledge in new development also
Mhm,
gets
mhm.
me a lot of different, it's different facets. And I do represent a couple of projects here in Florida. I represent them in Canada, what is
Oh,
called
cool.
super broker. So
Mhm.
I don't wear a cape, but I definitely represent them. I was in Canada doing some presentations, and obviously now things have changed a little bit, but I'm still very well connected with the realtors in Toronto,
Right.
and we do presentations internally. And there's many things that are happening right now behind the scenes. Obviously, Canadians cannot come right now, but they're still looking at what we have
Of course.
available.
Absolutely.
So definitely I am known for that. Also I guess my international connections. I am what is called, I have a designation for with internationals. It's a certified international. Oh, I'm going to blow
Property
this.
specialist.
There you
Yes,
go. Thank
yes.
you for the help. So I have that as well. So all that knowledge and the global accreditations that we
Sure,
have,
of course.
also with KRIA. So different things give you different exposure. So it's my knowledge with clients and the fact that I have worked with people from different places,
Yeah.
people from England. I have quite a bit of clients from London.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, I'm actually, that's interesting because I'm of counsel to this Facebook group that's called Moving to Florida from the UK.
oh wow,
So
I didn't know
one of
that.
my strategic partners is British,
Yes,
and it's a very easy, just like with Canadians, it's a very easy visa process. And we
right.
were talking about this before we started. I specialize in helping people acquire immigration status through real
Yes,
estate investing, which is a very unique model because a lot of lawyers shy away from that because oftentimes real estate is considered passive. Now they can't buy their principal home and get a visa, but if they're a real estate investor and they're creating a real viable business, they can. And that's where there's a lot of synergy between us as we move forward and you start to see what we're building here. It's kind of exciting, and I'd love for you to be a part of it, especially with your client base and bringing value to each other. That's what it's all about. So I asked a question in the profile. What do you value more, price or value? And you said value. Can you tell us a little bit about why value is the most important thing for you?
well, I meant also the value, the marketing value of it as well.
Okay.
I think that it's important for people to realize the cost of different things, not only just not only just knowing or guessing where they're going. They need to do the research. They need to look for people that have the knowledge on that,
Right.
so they can find out exactly what they're investing on. Just picking something because of the price or the shape of the form is not always
No.
the best decision.
Correct.
So do your research and check, trust the knowledge of people, trust the professionals that are behind.
That's so important, Katya, because too many people second guess us as professionals. And if they come and work with us, I think it's really important that they have the confidence that we know what to do to help them and guide them. For
Right.
example, when a Canadian is moving to South Florida, they are not going to know the market like we do.
Right.
And they depend on us to a certain extent to guide them through the process. And I think that that's really important because you don't want to, like a Canadian or a Brit isn't going to want to go somewhere that's very heavily Latin influenced, for example. No offense to you, but they're not going to be comfortable because they're not going to speak the language. Like they're not going to go to South Miami if they don't speak Spanish. It just doesn't make sense, right? So that's where we come in to help guide them in this in the strategy of what makes the most sense for you, for your lifestyle, for your business. How do we make that happen? And how do we help to make sure that that's a concierge service that we're offering, not just about the home, but about the schools and about the all of the elements that go into where you're living and where you're working, and especially these days now that 90% of us are working from home, right?
Right.
So
Right.
we have to really be comfortable with where we're living because we're going to be there a lot more than we used to be.
Yeah, and
Um,
when people move here, they don't always know. And that happened to me. I mean, the
mhm,
crazy story, and it's a true story. When I moved here, we finally purchased a home. I didn't know any painters. I didn't know anybody. I literally stood outside of, Sherwin Williams, and I was just waiting to see which crew impressed me more. And that was the one that painted my house. So now I came up with something that is almost like a concierge service for all my
yes,
clients.
right,
So I have the ability to guide them
right,
into, I have 3 sets of architects, 3 different builders, designers. I have everybody
right,
available. They can interview them all, but at
mhm,
least they have the knowledge of, hey, these ones they have a track record, they have been
right.
proven to work. Let me see which one I pick. So
Right, and
they,
they're also accountable to you as the referral source, and that's super important. That's exactly the same model I have at a different level, of course, because I'm not dealing with home purchases. I am a realtor, but I'm just a referring realtor.
right,
So it's super important to be able to do that for your clients because um, they aren't going to know. They're just going to be going through the internet and looking up the, the one that had paid the most for the Google search, for example. And that's not necessarily the best one at all. But these people, if they don't deliver, they have you to answer to, and they're going to lose you as a referral source. And so there is a vested interest in making you and your client happy, and that's really important. Tell me a little bit about your awards, because you've had many of them in your, how many years now? 8 years as a realtor?
No, just 5 years as
Oh
a
my
realtor.
goodness, wow.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your awards.
My background with my builders and everything kind of came all together. It's almost like that knowledge just came together. I'm basically have the President's Circle Award for Douglas Elliman, which I believe I'm the 11% of the company.
Wow.
Also the $1 Million Guild Award, which is all different sales that you do within certain time. I have just a few designations and certifications. And again, the sports and entertainment division based on my client, my clients and everything. And recently I have been, I will be receiving another one, which actually is a global one, which
Nice.
I'll tell you the next time that we speak, because I'm not able to disclose it yet.
Okay. Well, congratulations in advance.
Thank you. Thank you. So that is basically a global level that exposes, it's just a complete different award.
It's super important. Like you've lived in 3 different countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's super important, I think, for people that are coming from other countries to work with people that understand that transition, because it's a big one.
Yeah.
Even from Canada to the US, it's, you were 8 when you moved from Peru. My business partner in Calgary moved from Chile to Calgary when she was about the same age as you. And she's still there freezing. But the point is that we understand there's an empathy there. Just like you had the negative experience with your first home, I went through hell with my ex-husband being deported. It drives what we do and how important it is for us to set the parameter and the stage properly for our clients, because we don't want them to go through that same thing. That's what drove me to build an immigration business. I wasn't in the immigration field before, but because of what I experienced, I was like, this can't happen. Nobody should go through that. So we kind of like been there, done that. And now we can hold the hand of our clients so that they don't struggle and suffer. And you can't make everything perfect, but you can certainly pave the path and make it as obstacle-free as possible. Katia, how do people reach you?
How do they reach me? I am very active in social media. So they are able to find me in LinkedIn and Facebook and anywhere. And again, it's my connections. So they can reach me. I mean, they can send me an email. They can call me. There's many ways to reach, but just social media.
Just give us an email address that they can reach you at?
Yes, it's Katia, Katia .Reisler, REISLER @elliman.com. That's ELLIMAN.
Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to get to know you. I can't wait for our lunch together.
Yes, we moved from coffee to lunch.
And I wish you happy holidays, a very healthy and happy new year. And I'm looking forward to a lot of business together in 2021. And I really appreciate your time and making some time to chat with me today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take good care, sweetheart.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.